Hey, welcome back to Steamboat. Today I am Mike Palucci and I'm sitting here with Peggy Wolfe, and we're going to be talking real estate on our segment we call Real Estate Today. How are you today?
Great, how are you?
Thank you for coming out in the snow.
It's a beautiful morning because you just told me we're above 400 inches.
We are.
I just think that's great.
Yeah, 401 inches today, so
Yeah.
broke the mark.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you say to like your friends that don't live in Colorado, like, you know, how much snow do you get?
Right.
400 inches.
And they just think 400 inches piled up.
Because like even in Chicago, like 100 inches in Chicago is a lot.
Right.
50, 60 inches in New York is a lot. 400.
Well, especially in Manhattan.
Yeah, 400.
Well, we've got to move on because we've got important news today.
Important stuff.
Very important.
What do we got?
I want everybody to listen carefully.
Okay.
Because we are starting to, I believe, approach, and in some areas, we have hit the bottom of the market.
Nice.
Not everywhere.
Okay.
It's dependent upon the neighborhood, the area of Routt County. And there was a good article in the newspaper this weekend about foreclosures and how there have been a number of foreclosures that have gone under contract in the past couple of weeks, and how there have been multiple offers on those.
Wow.
So people are starting to realize the value of the prices in Steamboat right now.
A little competition.
And everyone's out there looking.
Interesting.
And everybody wants to get in on a good value.
Because I did a short sale. I put my bid in. No one touched it for 6 months. So that was a year ago. So that's interesting. Good info.
And I'll tell you, so, you know, if you snooze, you're maybe going to lose.
Okay.
At least on your first choice.
Right.
And the other thing I want people to realize is that when you're investing in real estate in Steamboat right now, you're not going to be able to buy it, live in it for a year, flip it, and double your money.
No.
That's not our economic environment right now. But if you plan on holding it for 3 to 5 years, you're going to make some money on it. You're going to see some appreciation because Steamboat is fabulous.
Yeah.
And people are always going to want to buy property here.
You also have the nightly rental factor. So you can offset some
Right.
of the costs, you know, by renting it out on those key weeks.
Exactly.
You know, especially during like Christmas week or President's week. You pay for a few months of mortgage typically.
Yeah.
So.
Well, but we've got people coming in here paying for things with cash in the $2, $3, $4 million price range. Now, those are individuals
awesome.
that are pretty savvy
Right.
to have the cash to be able to buy a property at that price.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they're telling us something.
Yeah, if they've done their homework and they're going to drop down some cash like that on a big place, then
Right.
So,
Exactly.
You're making me feel good because we
Okay.
bought a place a year ago.
And for those of you who haven't purchased anything yet, you better get looking.
Look.
So just a few statistics.
Okay.
Year to date through the end of, let me think, Sunday. This is when I pulled the stats.
Okay.
43 properties sold on the mountain for a total of $28 million in sales.
So year to date.
So that's a pretty good number
Yeah.
for the first quarter, not quite the first quarter. The most expensive property that sold was a $3.2 million Edgemont property.
Nice.
And the low was a $65,000 Rockies condo.
Wow. So Rockies holds the low. I thought it'd be Walton Village.
Well,
Close.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, the Rockies are a big rental property.
Yeah.
So somebody bought that property, and they're going to ride the revenue as well as the appreciation.
Yeah, and you can walk to the ski resort from
Exactly,
there.
you can.
$65,000 and you could walk to the ski resort.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
We should say that again, $65,000 and you can walk to the ski resort.
Yeah.
Average sales price was $735,000.
Wow.
Which
That's
is
higher,
good.
way higher than I thought it would be.
Yep.
Okay.
So year to date through February, thanks to the information from Land Title, we've got total dollar volume sales were down 23%, but the good news is that transactions were up 30%.
So dollar volume down, meaning that
Yep.
prices were depressed, but more transactions.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the more transactions, I think, is a great thing in our area right now because that shows that we're going to start moving through this inventory that we have.
Yeah, and it's good because it's for the economy too. People buy these places and maybe they'll upgrade some things and get some new appliances and get some new tile.
And some new
So
carpet.
It's good that properties are moving.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
good.
I'm working with a young couple right now, and we were looking in the $200,000 to $300,000 price range yesterday. A lot of properties on the market in that price range. And yeah, they needed some carpet, some paint, but some of them are beautiful, and they need nothing, in perfect condition. So some other interesting information is that for 2010, in the 1 to 1.5 price range, That was 20% of the total transactions.
Wow, okay.
For February, through February of this year, it was 11%. But then from 1.5 to 2 million, 9% in 210, but 20% year to date.
Wow, for 2011, so
Yep.
pacing much higher.
2 to 2.5 million, 7% versus 10% this year. 2.5 to 3, 7% versus 12%. And then over 3 was 12% last year, but 7% this year. And that was one transaction. So it doesn't make
there's that range, though.
Right.
One question, though, is when is there more activity? Isn't there more activity outside of the winter? The most properties sell what time of the year in Steamboat?
Well, we see a lot of people that perhaps came and skied in December and January. They come back sometimes here to get one more ski weekend.
Right.
And then they come back perhaps in June or July and make their offer. Or they're making offers now as well, but those aren't going to close until sometime in later May or early June.
We'll close on this note, but you know what you're showing is this trend upward. From
Right.
what I've seen is that most transactions happen in June, July, and August. And if you're already seeing this trend now in January, February, and basically going into March, that's a good sign for what you might see June, July, and August.
I agree completely.
It could be really active market this summer.
I think it's very indicative of what we're going to see this summer, and that's why I'm very much encouraging people to call me or your realtor, or if you're working with one already, because now's the time.
Tell people where to get in touch with you, Peggy.
You can reach me at peggy@peggywolfe.com. You can reach me on my website, peggywolfe.com. You can reach me on my new YouTube channel. Just type in Peggy Wolfe Steamboat Springs Real Estate.
There you go.
And you can reach me on my cell, which is 970-846-8804.
You staying busy?
Staying busy.
Good.
Been showing property for about 14 days straight, and I love it.
Can't get lunch in. You're always so busy. Well, thank you.
We'll manage.
We'll get there. Thank you for coming on, Peggy. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Great
Mike.
information for everyone to be had. If anyone is interested in reaching Peggy Wolfe, there's a ton of ways to do it. Just Google her or call her on her cell phone. We'll be back with more on Steamboat Today.